Welcome, everybody, once again. Our first priority today is really a sincere shout out to everybody in our industry for everybody's efforts, extreme efforts in cleaning to assist us in protecting us all. Custodians, janitors, caretakers, building service contractors, healthcare workers, and everybody here today. It's a top priority. We're all in this together, and just thank you for upping your cleaning protocol and attention to making it a safer, cleaner space there for sure. My belief really is it'll get worse before it gets better. And together, we're a stronger and a smarter team. And at the end of it, we'll be actually more educated, and hopefully our focus of really on the importance of cleaning on a regular basis, safely and properly, remains a top priority. So now, with that being said, thank you, and we'll start. So I think I'm pretty well done introducing myself. For those that don't know you or know me, it's on the screen there, and I continue to be as engaged and as passionate about our industry as ever. In fact, more than ever there. So, and thank you for taking the time to join us today. Last week was series 1 of 4. Today is series 2, and we talked about the cleaning protocols to lower the risk of an outbreak. And thank you for thanking us. It means a lot when everybody reaches out to us with positive comments to really pass along the comments that we're doing a good thing, and that really goes a long way. And please keep that up. We've received more calls and thank yous about finally somebody's talking about how they can sincerely help us, talking common sense that we can understand and help us both in our commercial life and our residential life there as well. So we've had a multiple of requests for questions. We've had real facility answers for you. We've had multiple requests for copies of the presentation and industry knowledge and facility guidance. And just so everybody knows, all of these presentations are online at Charlotte, or on our Charlotte website. For you, and so they're there for your use as well. Once you register also for this seminar, you should be on an auto invite, and because I know there's several people are, but just make sure that you do register, or once you get that auto invite, do that. What we've discovered is there's a real need for ongoing communication and guidance, and we're dedicated to do that for you, and we're planning on doing this for the next couple of weeks, and we'll probably continue, and in the future we'll probably even add on there general cleaning practices and protocol for types of facilities. Maybe we'll add things like floor care and washroom care and carpet care and all those that obviously tie into our cleaning industry. So that is some of our plans to do that. As I said, the PowerPoint is online for you. And if you look at the PowerPoint from last week's ES15, where we did a 2-3 minute video, it's there. And if you look at the Charlotte Products tab under the Media Center and press videos, you'll find it there that you can download it and revisit it. And it's been a popular YouTube video and being used for training a lot of people on the custodial side in facilities. So with that being said, that leads us to today's session. Okay, I think it's important that we talk about our CEO here and his message, and really, why are we doing these regular webinars? Because it's been him that's driven us to do it and encourage us to do it, as a matter of fact. And we understand that there's a critical need for industry assistance, and we also continue to learn and improve our methods in this unprecedented time. So Matt Strano is our CEO, and just a blip from a quote from him is here: as Charlotte Products is committed to transferring the knowledge, sharing resources, and providing solutions to shorten your learning curve on proper cleaning and disinfectant processes by launching our coronavirus COVID-19 Outbreak Prevention Weekly Series update. So we're committed to being a reliable, consistent, trusted, and educational resource. And that's actually from Matt Strano there, and that's a message from him. So we're thankful for that we can actually take his message and guidance and bring that to everybody here today. So today's discussion points, Series 2, also cleaning protocols to lower the risk of an outbreak. I want to talk a little bit about ES15. We mentioned it last week. That's our outbreak prevention disinfectant. That's a spray and go. and that is in extreme high demand. I can tell you we've received orders for thousands and thousands of cases. We're producing it every single day practically, and it's going out as fast as we can make it, believe me, and we have lots of open orders, but they're telling us in production that we're going to continue to serve, and we'll get you supply without question. We can't help you if your order's not in the queue, and we may have to do some allocating and things, but we'll get it to you as fast as we can. Also today, we're going to do a little bit of facility education. So I want to talk about really reservoir transmission and understanding that, what's involved, and it can help you prioritize your cleaning protocol overall. Also a little bit on drain management education. There's bacteria and viruses in every single drain. It's actually a proven source of transfer and a risk that I think we can help you with a cleaner, safer facility. As always, we'll give you a supply chain update for Charlotte and a question and answer period with Ask with Williams and myself with an open mic at the end, and then also the resources and links that you can use moving forward. Okay. So here's the screen we showed last week about the spray and wipe, spray and go outbreak prevention program. It will be launched in the US probably in the next 3-4 weeks or so, or foreseeable future. Yet to be determined. It is in Canada now, and this is the one that quite honestly has I don't want to say the word paralyzed us, but it's been the largest demand ever in history. But like I say, it will certainly help you out in your facility without question. So get your orders in for that, and make sure you're in the queue, and we'll get you what we can when we can. Okay. It's getting there. It's tremendous. Global update. Okay. We're in unprecedented times without question. There is a higher level of anxiety every hour of the day, every day that passes. There's extreme tension. There's less patience with people just because of the pressure and the concern for their health and welfare, and really, cleaning and ensuring they're in safe places there. There's a lot of inconveniences. I mean, whether it's self-quarantined or lockdown, whatever that the rules are around the world, it's something that is basically we haven't quite witnessed before. So as always, we say we need to stay calm. The government, they've enforced non-essential businesses to close. And the question is, how long will that happen? Well, I don't think anybody knows, so I'm sure we'll announce it. But all we do know is that in China, when it started and they finally did the lockdowns, there was a major reduction in the risk. So let's follow that example and follow our government experts and do what they want us to do. The pressure of social distancing, I mean, we need to adhere to it. I mean, there's some there that you read in articles and media every day that some do it well and some don't. And we really need to do that, right? 6 feet, 2 meters, whatever your unit of measurement is. I mean, the more distance from people is better for us all. Okay. The province of Hubei in China. That's the main province. There's a population there, by the way, of 60 million people. And I believe we're probably about 38 million in all of Canada. And I think we're 350 million, I believe, in the United States. I may have that number wrong, but I mean, there's 60 million people in this province. And that's where coronavirus happened and occurred from. So the expert tell us. And they locked down there for 2 months. They've been locked down after they imposed that. And just now they're starting to ease that lockdown. So it's been 2 months. So if any length of time or any number you wanted to sort of think about, I mean, it took them 2 months to get control of it, right? And where Wuhan has always been in the news, where it actually started, there's been news coming out saying that they're about to lift that social distancing in a couple of weeks down the road. And quite honestly, that's good news. The wave may have passed there. I'm not the expert on that, believe me, but all the indicators indicate we're in better shape than what they were 2 months ago. It's critical that you disinfect every single touch point. We've been saying that for weeks. We say it all the time. I mean, every single touch point, that's something that your hands touch, even your feet touch, your arms, your elbows, whatever it may be. I mean, it's critical. You want to pre-clean and deep clean those facilities. I know of education facilities that are out there that are still open. They're redoing some wood floors. They're redoing some floors. They're sanitizing and extracting carpets. I mean, it's actually, if they are open and it's approved by the facility, it's not a bad time to go through and thoroughly clean, so that when students come back, when the public comes back, you've got a cleaner, safer facility without question. So, but as always, you take that guidance from the actual facility. We want to heed the advice from government officials. You know, the Center for Disease Control, the World Health Organization, they've got some pretty accurate information and extremely timely. Take advantage of. Yeah, and one of the big questions that we're getting on a regular basis is, how long will it last? Okay. Well, one thing that I do know is we don't make the timeline, the virus makes the timeline. And officials are telling us to self-isolate, to flatten that curve. And the only way that we're going to do that is if we actually do self-isolate. Okay. So that's a little bit on a global update for this particular week there. So revisiting our thought process, it's important that we don't panic. We want to ask for help. We want to transfer that knowledge to you. We want to prepare for today and tomorrow. One thing that we will talk about in a few minutes, but I'll just say it here, is there's a stress on packaging. And whether it's trigger head sprayers or flip caps or small quart bottles or 946 ml bottles, there is going to be a shortage. And most of these trigger heads do come out of China, and there's nothing coming out of there in the near future, we can tell you. So what we've done is we've actually come up with in bigger packaging for you to make sure that we've got a constant supply. So we've moved to gallons, to pails, and even drums, which is a good thing. So you'll see that with your local distributor and people there. Ask about that for sure, because you just may not be able to get trigger bottles in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks or whatever that time is. So we like to throw that out there. Revisiting training procedures is paramount. We've discovered improvements in our own facility. We've upped our game. As a matter of fact, we've actually put cleaning protocol right on the top shelf, which is quite honestly where it should be. We want to be wise. We want to be vigilant. We want to increase our cleaning frequencies. We want to deep clean our facilities, like I said, and again, stay in touch with the Center for Disease Control and the World Health Organization. Another thing too, before I go off of this slide, is there's weekly updates for registered disinfectants occurring all the time. Okay. And we've just had ones added this week on the Canadian Health site agency there, where ES15 we had actually fast tracked in a less than a 2-week period, and we're pretty proud of that. So everyone's been asking what's on the Canadian list. That's added there, as a matter of fact, as of this morning or last night, I believe. So that's a good thing for us for sure. So next, so product supply awareness. I just said it there, but really here's a visual. Here's the packaging that's at risk of supply. I mean, it's trigger heads, it's the quart bottles, the 946 ml bottles, it's the silk screen bottles. On our ES72 and 64, 67, those particular concentrate dispensing systems, we will run short of the silk screen bottles, and that's the color-coded bottles that come in blue, orange, green, and red. But what we do have is we have the labels there, the color-coded laminate labels, that so you may have to use a regular trigger bottle and put that color-coded label on there. But we just want to make sure we're transparent with you, and you've got all the opportunities there. So solutions, obviously gallons. Obviously, we've just added pails and drums as well. And yet that really improves your chance to secure inventory. If there's no flip caps, you can always use, if there's no trigger heads, you can always use flip caps. And we have color-coded flip caps, and we also have the white-colored flip caps. So just don't, so if you don't have a trigger head available, then you can always do that. The other advice for you is pump up sprayers. I mean, these are much more sustainable than a lot of small bottles, and that'll help us out as far as our planet and sustainability goes as well. So some good awareness there for you to be aware of. Okay. This screen says it all. What's interesting is I've gone back in my archives from 20 years ago. And you know, we've been relaying this message for 15 to 20 years about the importance of cleaning. This is a slide that I actually had probably 15 years ago, and it explains to us a pretty good snapshot, visual snapshot of the risk and why travel bans are in place. And the fact is that if they do ban this type of travel, then that's a corrective measure. Now, this is the world's 500 largest airports covering 100 countries in the world. That's on a daily basis. So hopefully what you can get out of this picture is that bacteria and viruses can travel extremely fast anywhere, anytime in the world. And that's really the reinforcing look at as to why we need to do social distancing and have these bans in place and things. It's a global risk. It's just not a community or province risk anymore. It's global. So facility education. I want to really talk about, the major cause of infectious threats. And like I say, this is from information back a long time ago. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. What we need to do is practice the best ways that suit each one of our facilities. But I mean, the major cause of threats is the incorrect cleaning practices, the cleaning protocol. We, for years, have not really focused on it, and there's improvement to be made. The misuse of disinfectants and label instructions. We talked about that in our first series. You need to follow the label instructions. If you sway off of the label instructions of any way, you are not going to be ensured that you've killed 100% of the stated pathogens, that's the bad ones, that you intended to do. Right. As a matter of fact, if people mix too strong in things, they put it on the surface and then it leaves a little bit of a biomass there, or a perfect sort of hosting area for bacteria and viruses to grow and multiply. So use it. We spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, the industry really identifying the proper use and the proper dilutions and the proper ingredients to give you a product that does exactly what it's supposed to do as long as it's registered. This is not the time to sort of mix a little extra or mix a little less there. A lack of knowledge, the severity of the situation, the importance of the task. A lot of people think that you need to be able to pronounce and spell Stachybotrys. Well, you don't, right? What you need to know is what's on the label, using the skill set of the people that are around you, and follow that label and clean according to the instructions. You'll come out okay, right? And so really, these things have a major negative contribution and a threat for sure. Okay, so this here, I want to talk about scientific validation, and this is an ATP meter. It's been used for many years. It's been used in healthcare facilities, food processing facilities, and ATP really is it stands for adenosine triphosphate. That's found in bacteria, and it's really the relative light units that are found there. So what it does is it helps you determine whether that whatever surface it is sanitary or not. And it's like a swab, like an industrial Q-tip. In fact, next week, maybe we'll actually do a live demo for you, because next week we'll actually have the cameras on, I'm told, as well here. So you'll be able to see us a little bit better. And what you do there is this is a number range. Okay, so it's a numeric range. So and it can vary for each facility, but 0 to 10 is a number. And when you swab and put it in the machine, it calculates the number. So if you've got a range between 0 and 10, it's generally considered a sanitary surface. If you are 10 to 20, you need to review your cleaning practices. And if it's 30 or more, it's actually treated as an infectious threat. Those numbers can vary. It depends by the actual meter itself too, but 30 or more would be something that you'd want to be around a 0 to 10 in an OR room, or a 10 to 20 in food processing and things like that. So what it basically is scientific validation that allows you to swab a surface and give you a numeric reading. You don't necessarily have to be the lowest number, depends on the criteria of the facility, but you want to involve your cleaning staff and aim for the lowest number, and revisit cleaning facilities surfaces, and really see what it takes to get as low a number that's acceptable. So it's a real learning curve. So when we talk about this, we want to talk about floor reservoirs. And really that's the largest area, it's the largest square footage by far. We don't necessarily stop and think about floors as a general basis. We may use some water and pads. We may use a neutral cleaner or something like that. We may not even clean them on a regular basis. But what we do know is coronavirus is spread from droplets. Okay, gravity is going down without question, unless you're in outer space, and so that basically allows it to fall and spread on the floor. Floors are a catch-all, and really that can be the single largest reservoir of pathogenic microorganisms found in buildings. And it also isn't just related to hard floors. It's also carpeting, area rugs, entrance matting, things like that. So it's something that I seldom see that is in a disinfectant or heavy cleaning protocol, and it's something that we want to bring to your attention. So some examples here for you. Waiting for the next screen. Okay, some common pickup points on the floors. Things you don't think of: shoelaces and shoe soles, clothing, backpacks. If you've been through an airport or a train terminal lately, I mean, there's more backpacks than almost there is people, and you're setting that on the ground. Suitcases, purses. When you drop your pen and then you bring it up to your mouth and you decide you want to chew on it. Grocery bags, and the grocery bags, when you go to the grocery store and you bring them home, you set them on your kitchen counter or your island, your kitchen table, or even when you come back into the workspace. So these are all common pickup points for sure. And really it transfers directly to your mouth or your eye in an inadvertent touch, through social contact and things like that. And the average person will have 50 of these incidental floor contacts every single day. So what's the takeaway here? I think we want to focus on developing a program that allows us to properly clean, disinfect, and sanitize our floors. Okay. And as far as an ATP meter reading goes, okay, a typical reading here, and this is one I actually did personally, was a reading of 892. Right. And remember that 30 is a reading that we can be considered an infectious threat. So we have work to do. And it's not all bad news, because this is learnings. Because if we started 892 on Monday and we revisit our cleaning practices, and then the next day we get to 500, and then we maybe get to 200 or 100 or whatever, as long as we're going in that right direction, it's deemed cleaner. So what do we recommend here? I mean, you want to wash using a very, very good quality neutral cleaner. It's got the surfactant built in. It breaks down and suspends the dirt and debris in the detergency, and allows you to vacuum it up or rinse it away. And I mean, that's really something that I would recommend for sure. Disinfecting, using a disinfectant on your floors, a sanitizer in food processing facilities, with the appropriate frequency. You definitely want to do that. Okay. So as far as lowering the risk of an outbreak, I mean, you want to make sure that you're doing that in an auto scrubber, because absolutely everything from your floors is picked up in the recovery tank of your auto scrubber. Okay. That auto scrubber tank is very seldom rinsed out. It's very seldom, if any time, disinfected at the end of the shifts. And it's really a source of foul odors and food and bacteria, feces, viruses, urine, and all the contaminants, all the nasty things, because everything from the floor goes there. Okay. So if you could do one good thing or a better thing to help with us a safer place, is make sure that those tanks are rinsed out and disinfected after each use, without question. That'll go a long way, having clean equipment. Okay, some suggested neutral floor disinfectants for the United States. We have ES64H, that's a neutral disinfectant. We have our brand new ES364, that's neutral. It has a benefit of a 5-minute dwell time, a neutral pH, and a norovirus kill claim. And you can see some of the sizes there, and I'm not going to go into a lot of that now, because that'll be available online for you after. In Canada, we have our ES64 neutral disinfectant. We have 364s here as well. And then we have 65, and 65 right now, and 65H is in short demand because of the content of the quat in the ingredients in the formula, and it takes a lot of quat to actually develop this product, so it's in short supply, to be quite honest. Okay, the number 2 reservoir here, obviously horizontal surfaces. These are desktops, counters, tables, things like that. Any flat surface that people touch in a facility, things that can be chairs and tables and benches and food tray, waste receptacles, counters, things like that. Anything really in public buildings or workspaces, office buildings, and the cleaning employees have a tendency to focus there, as opposed to floors and other more sensitive ones there, but we need to really revisit our disinfectant protocol there. Okay. The next one is we've got an ATP meter reading here, and I did this personally. It was 287. Okay, that's concerning results. Custodial staff, in their defense, may not be permitted to clean those personal spaces because there's sensitive information there. Office personnel now, I know we talked about it before, but we should each be responsible for disinfecting our own personal workspaces. Just getting that peace of mind, right? You know, that we're cleaner there, and that'll go a long way to lowering that rating. You know, so, and remember, I mean, 30 is generally an area that you want to aim for, and this is an average of 287. Okay, and the last touch point here is, which is our third largest, is the one where generally we focus and mainly focus here, is the touch points, right? And just because it's 1, 2, and 3 here doesn't mean any one of them are any less important than the others. All three are just as important, right? These microorganisms, they're present on these high touch points without question, and they transfer via your hands to your nose, your eyes and ears, and open skin wounds. And if you don't believe me, just sort of look at your person who's at least 6 feet or 2 meters away and just watch them for 5 minutes and see how many times they actually touch their face or their ears or whatever. And that's as innocent as it happens without question. So, you know, water faucets, door handles, keyboards, elevator buttons, photocopiers, telephones, all of those particular things, you know, so you need a re-emphasis on that. Without question. Okay, and a typical reading here on ATP is 93. You know, so that's obviously concerning results. We want to aim for the lowest number. You know, so that's really how an ATP meter works. They are available. They are available without question, and I know we have access to them and things, and it's just one way that you can help. You know, and then of course I'll revisit our OPTISOLVE, which if you're looking for the best cleaning validation, OPTISOLVE is our digital imaging technology that basically allows you to adapt a precision cleaning program. If you look at the picture, left-hand side, that's a keyboard that we may think as a cleaning team that's acceptable and clean. But what OPTISOLVE gives you is it gives you the imaging there, the digital imaging that identifies all of the hot spots. So you can see that's a very easy transfer point there. And what OPTISOLVE does is it makes the invisible visible. So consult with us if you need information on that, but that's really the best system in the planet without question, if you're into really lowering the risk in facilities. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about drain management now, and this is more facility education, and we want to lower the risk of in all areas, right? And that's what our educational series is about. So what we do know is there's been a recent discovery in food service and healthcare facilities, really trying to stop the spread of infectious diseases, right? And we've worked side by side with healthcare facilities and food service processing facilities. And it really, they've been cleaning and they get a little frustrated because they can't lower the you know, they can't really get the low numbers, and OPTISOLVE saying they still got some contaminants on the surface. And so we start backtracking everything that we do. And I mean, and what it comes down to is, you know, we flush absolutely everything down the drain. I mean, everybody on the line here knows what we've flushed down the drain at times, and something that you know, we really need to be aware of, right? So bacteria and viruses, they contaminate the screens. Everybody knows what the screen looks like in the bottom of a drain or a tub or a shower or a sink, and right underneath that, usually it's chrome or brass. Is where they're harboring, right under that sink. So when somebody uses the sink, the water from the tap splashes on their hands or skin before and after washing, by the way. And that's how easy that you can transfer those contaminants, and you become the transfer host and you take it back to whatever surface you touch next. So as an example, if you're in a washroom and you wash your hands and the sink has an issue that hasn't been cleaned properly in this particular manner, something could splash on your hands. You take it back to the workspace and you happen to be in the restaurant doing the cold meat, making the deli sandwiches. If you're in a healthcare facility, you're a patient, you get out of bed, you're hot, you splash your face to cool down, you wash your hands, whatever. And the same thing, when the water hits that, it can contaminate on your skin, and then you take it back to the IV TV pole or the table, the rail, the TV remote, or whatever it may be. So really the user, unknowingly spreads it. So, here's our Drain CL deep drain foam cleaner. It was developed specifically to tackle that. It's a powdered formulation. It's non-acid. It uses sodium hypochlorite, so a bleach type that gives you the sanitizing, eliminates the odors, and it turns to a deep foam as soon as you pour it down the drain. It's actually known to be going about 10 or 15 feet down the drain, by the way, and it dislodges all that bacteria and organic substance, allowing them to be safely flushed away out of harm's way, and it sanitizes all and deodorizes all at the same time. So it is available in both Canada and the US there. I will tell you, it's in a little bit of short supply. There is some inventory in there, but it's short supply. But that's something that this isn't just for a global pandemic time. This is a real honest solution year round, whether it's at home, whether it's in a commercial building, a food processing, healthcare facility, it doesn't matter. These are things that we're a better company bringing you these offerings because it helps us achieve our end result and our goal without question. So I'll show you a little video here right now of how it works in the drain. And this was just done in a facility here where we'll just get it going here. Here you go. So you're just pouring in the powder, adding a little bit of water. Should have a little music in the background, I believe, there. And just watch this. So it's a food surface contacts sanitizer in Canada. You'll see it bubbling. Now the foam is going 10 to 15 feet down the drain, dislodging things. It's eliminating the odors. It's deep cleaning. And we actually picked this floor. You can see there, that's not a very nice shot, but that's one of the nicest shots we could give you because there's really a lot of nasty things that come out of the drains. If you're in humid areas, you're around wineries and things like that, you will really notice a big issue with fruit flies and things, and that usually eliminates and kills them. They're flushed down the drain, and the way they go, and that problem's gone away. As far as urinals go, we'll just queue up a video here for urinals, and you will see in a second here. Okay, it's just about to come up here. Just bear with us a second. Yeah, we've got it here. So this will be showing you a urinal, and urinals often have a nasty smell, and they clog as well. And it's a reason for huge complaints. And I think I'll be quiet here because I think you have a voice.
Doing a very good job. So we're actually going to remove that.
We're going to take our Serve Clean Drain CL product, which is ready to use. Half a cap for a urinal or anything above a floor. We're going to put it in here. Okay. And just stand back for a second, and you'll see how well it moves, foams, deodorizes. You see the foam expanding. A deep foaming cleanser, probably going about 10 to 15 feet down the drain, eliminating any odors. So hopefully you've seen there how clean that stainless steel screen was when it came out of there. That was no brushing, no scrubbing, no nothing, just the sodium hypochlorite additive in that powder that actually did that for you. So that's something, again, for every one of those sinks, and a real good way to treat it there. So our next slide here, I want to talk about a supply chain update. We told you last week that we expanded to 20 hours a day, 6 days a week. We're doing all disinfectants, all sanitizers, all our general purpose cleaners, all of our finishes, everything there. We're trying to take care of everybody across North America and Europe and things like that, prioritizing everything there. We've made major progress this week in sort of allowing us to breathe a little bit. We've been allocating orders, obviously. People have placed huge orders that we just can't ship 100% of the huge order, but we will get you stock without question. We've increased our inventory of raw materials. We've discussed options, and we're monitoring demand for increasing production even more in the new future. We've been prioritizing those orders that are received in-house. And as I said a week ago or so, we can't respond to all of those calls inquiring about inventory levels. Just place your order. We will prioritize them accordingly. Communicate with us and our distributor partners, and tell us the necessity of what it is, and we'll see what we can do without question, there. So really, we'll continue to update you that on a weekly basis there, but we're in fairly good shape, I would say. We're not about to run out of anything really fast. Raw materials are good, so we should be able to serve you in the long run. So just keep that in mind. Okay, some additional resources here. We had these on here last week, the charlotteproducts.com and the experts at charlotteproducts.com. They're really good ones to get a hold of us directly. And so if you wanted to chat with myself or ask with Williams or Matt Strano, it doesn't matter who it is you want. Our order desk people are very experienced and very knowledgeable. Our whole team here is knowledgeable. So that's a good way to actually get some additional help and some questions answered there. So we always like that. So our summary for this week before we go to the question and answers is, as always, we hope you found this information helpful. We're going to host another one next week at the same time frame and things. And we encourage you to continue joining us there, because we're going to continue to change it up and add new ways. And our real goal here is to help you with cleaner, safer spaces. That's really what it is. Together, we're going to learn. We listen extremely well to you, and we adapt accordingly there. And we're available to assist you, and before we go to the questions here, next week, we're going to talk about simple and precise, clean, fast protocol. We're going to talk about disinfecting all contact points. We're going to talk about the importance of using the right product and not creating your own out of some other materials that can cause dangerous situations for you there. We'll probably talk about explaining disinfecting and sanitizing and cleaning definitions and tips to ensure a better result and things there. So, and probably a live ATP demo, maybe perhaps we'll do that. So now I'm going to ask with Williams to join me for questions and answers. So Asquith, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Jimmy. Glad to be here.
Great. Glad you're here.
Okay, I think we got the first question here, Jimmy. We've got the question from Ken. What are your thoughts of pouring bleach down the drain to disinfect?
Well, it's that's one that's I can tell you there's in the right quantities, it's not a bad thing. Bleach has been used for thousands and thousands of years. So if you put an ounce or a few milliliters here and there, you can do that. Obviously, putting mass quantities, no. And you've always got to remember what you need to flush that drain before you add anything to it, even any cleaner, because Asquith, the pH levels, alkalines and acids don't mix, and you can create some serious gases and harmful gases, respiratory issues. If you just go ahead and decide to pour a $3 gallon of bleach down there, you'll probably only do that once, and you could end up in a healthcare facility.
You got it. And also, too, by the way, when you add bleach down the drain, you got to remember the drain is a cylindrical thing. And so you only get a small portion of that cylinder, and not really touching all portions of the drain on the cylinder that you'll get from your drain CL product that would expand on the entire circumference of that drain.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I think, and also everybody's probably, who's a handy person, has used the spray foam to seal windows around the doors and things like that. And you spray it in a, just out of a 1/4-inch tube, and then it expands. Well, that's like our drain CL does, so
Absolutely.
It comes in all of those contact points, where this obviously is a liquid, and it basically passes by as fast as what it does.
And could only sanitize the area where it touches.
Yeah. So hopefully that helps you, Ken. Without question, thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Here's another question here for you, Jimmy. What surfaces should I disinfect?
What surfaces should I disinfect?
Yes, yes.
Well, I can tell you you've got to recognize that you can't disinfect every single surface in your facility or your homes without question, and nor do you need to disinfect them all. If there's surfaces that you never touch, proper cleaning protocol will do well without question. But
in other words, you're saying then just disinfect a lot of the touch points in it. Is that it, Jimmy?
Touch points for sure. Yeah. And what we talked about today with the reservoirs, some of those horizontal surfaces,
Right.
Anything around bathrooms, kitchens, anywhere where food processing goes on, those types of things. It's important. I can't stress it enough. Make sure that you're using the right product for the right job and you're following the label instructions. So we have lots of options for that without question. And what you really have to remember is I'll say this, and I hope I don't insult too many people, but a lot of people have gravitated to the wet wipes, and they've got lots of kill claims on them, as you know. And what I do know is there's always a time involved for killing or sanitizing. It could be 60 seconds, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be. And if you're using a brand of wet wipes that says you need to have it needs to stay on the surface for 2 or 3 minutes, generally the moisture isn't there where you're wiping it on a surface where it dries faster. So you're really getting a false hope of disinfecting there. So just keep that in mind of always following the instructions and adhering to them.
Excellent answer. Here's another question here from Paul. He's asking, bottle labels available to download to print or available physically?
Actually, we've just, as of today, we have our secondary label silk screen and things for certain products that we have. But as of today, we've just uploaded on I think they're going to our website today because they just came out to us this morning, all of the PDFs for secondary labels and labels that you can take and print at your own printer and put on there. So we've just, again, we had a question there last week. They asked if we could help them with that, and we've responded. So in as little as 7 days, we've done that.
Excellent, Jimmy. Thank you. Okay, we've got another question here for you, Jim.
Okay.
Basically, what's the best disinfectant I could use for instant disinfection on all my touch points around the house?
Well, there's no such thing as instant disinfection.
No,
no.
That's the question we got here. Hey.
There's no instant disinfection for sure. Again,
right.
Following the label.
Yeah.
If you look at the label, and sometimes you got to look with a magnifying glass because there's a lot of information on there. But I mean, whatever the time says that the surface has to be moist for, it has to be adhered to, and it'll always say pre-cleaning. If you see our YouTube video we did last week of ES15, we did that. So first of all, any registered EPA or DIN registered product, you want to make sure it's registered. All the kill claims, if there's a certain kill claim that you are trying to ensure you address in your facility, like say maybe norovirus, or salmonella, or it doesn't matter what it is. Make sure that's on the label because all of those claims are on that label there, right? Without question. So, and if you're in a healthcare facility, get the assistance of infection control. Make sure that it addresses their needs, and then also get in environmental services involved because there's detergency levels involved as well. And the way disinfectants work is we have disinfectants that are a very good aggressive cleaner degreaser, muscle degreaser and things, but the kill claims aren't as high. And so if you have a facility that's more industrial, you need that power of the clean, and you don't necessarily need an operating room disinfectant claim. Then we have middle of the road, what we call a middle of the road, which has very good detergency all around and really good substantial kill claims. And then we have our third sort of silo there of products is we have one that has light detergency. So in facilities that are frequently cleaned, but they need the top kill claim. So they need a medium level sort of kill claim. So it varies there for sure. But again, I can't stress enough following the label.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Jimmy. Here's another question from Brian. Can you outline any common mistakes people make disinfecting common touch points?
Outlining them?
Yes.
What's the question there? Sorry.
Can you outline any common mistakes people make disinfecting common touch points?
Sure, they don't follow the label. That's for sure. Really, how do you make a disinfectant work better? Once you've decided on the one that you decide to use that fits your facility, then it comes down to what steps do you need to follow. Okay. Diluting is the biggest mistake. Because people, if it calls for 1 ounce to 64 ounces or milliliters to milliliters, generally people think I'm disinfecting, so I'm going to add twice as much. And actually, in the long run, that actually causes more issues. As
I mean,
opposed,
twice as strong doesn't make it go any faster, Jimmy?
absolutely not. On the label, it
Okay.
kills it. The guarantee is it kills 100% of the stated pathogens on the label. You cannot kill 107%. The last time I checked, with there. So, for sure. So really, dilution ratios is key. Dwell time and things like that. Okay.
Okay. And here we got another question here from Sean. ES64, ES364, safe on any floor, as safe as a neutral base disinfectant.
Absolutely. These are special formulas, neutral pH, very good disinfection claims. Without doubt, that's my go-to. If I'm in any type of facility and I want to ensure, whether it's a retail space, a medical space, I mean, even if I'm in a warehouse and I want to really stop the spread of this coronavirus, I am going to use either 64 or 364 without question.
All right, excellent. Here's a question from Jennifer. Do you have any online training available for helping us understand proper cleaning procedures?
We absolutely do. If you go to the
where do you find that, Jim?
Well, you go right to the website, and it's actually, I believe it's right on the front page now. There's a whole array of training material that you can sign up to. There is a fee involved with some of the courses there for sure, but I think there's about 300 courses that are on there that in all different types of languages as well. So whether it's Spanish or English or French, even, they're there, and they cover a lot of different topics and things like that. They do that, and then we have our Charlotte app as well. So our Charlotte app is all about you can put in the disinfectant the issue, the bacteria or virus name, and if you put it in our app, it'll actually come up with all the suggested products that addresses it, square footage, dilution tips and assistance there, how much floor finish you need to cover a certain amount of square meter or square foot there. So, but I'm just looking at the time here, and I see we're about 45 minutes, 46 minutes, and we really try to keep this between 30, 35, and 45. So I think we'll close our webinar for today. Keep your questions coming in. We'll answer them all week long for you, without doubt. Reach out to us all here. That's really what we're here to do. And I'd like to thank Ask with Williams for joining me again today. And hopefully he can come back and see us next week and talk to us. And I think next week we're actually on a camera, Ask with. As a matter of fact.
Thanks for having me, Jimmy.
Yeah, you'll have to make sure you comb your hair next week.
Okay, Jimmy, I'll certainly try to do that.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you very much again. We appreciate your time and look forward to talking to you next week. Thank you.
Okay. Goodbye.